And I said, I can't disagree, Larry.
So you could have talked about books I hadn't written.
Hi, my name is Doug Stanton. I'm an author and a co-founder of the National Writer Series. We've hosted almost 300 authors on this stage in this wonderful 19th century opera house. And this is really a campfire for our community to gather around, to listen to stories and to talk about issues of the day and to be taken away by flights of imagination. I first thought about creating the National Writer Series with a group of friends, including Ann Stanton and our friend Grant Parsons. We sat around the kitchen table and thought, what can we do to bring the world to our hometown, Traverse City, Michigan, on the shore of Lake Michigan?
Let me take a minute or two and tell you how I came to write The Greatest Generation, and then I will undergo the withering cross-examination of your fellow citizen. I was born in 1940.
Our first guest was Elmore Leonard. What a delight, he came back a second time. Then further kicked off with Tom Brokaw, who gave us a big boost. And from there, it's been nonstop. So the events happen here at the National Writer Series throughout the year, and they are catching authors on their national book tours. This is not school, by the way. This is supposed to be entertaining. It is entertaining. It's theater, it's show business, and this is what we do on stage is we try to have a lot of fun. A gathering in the dark, in a darkened theater with two people talking in the kind of conversation you might eavesdrop on a train late at night going through some new country. So you really feel like you're part of an intimate gathering here and insight into the author. And that, believe it or not, these audiences here in Traverse City, Michigan are Midwestern, which means they want to laugh. And they're very warm and open to the people that bring their stories to this stage.
I had a bad guy in a book called Native Tongue that was was romanced to death by a bottlenose dolphin. And you think that couldn't happen?
This is the kind of conversation that you would have if you're going to write a magazine piece. I worked for Esquire magazine and others for a long time, and I prep for these conversations the same way I would prep for a feature story. When I'm done doing the prep for a National Writer Series conversation, I could write a feature story for a national magazine. That's how much work we put into knowing the author, knowing the story, and figuring out what it is questions might elicit from them, the mystery of what it is they do. The other thing that we do is we host these same writers coming into our auditorium, our classrooms to talk with students from our area about the craft of writing. We're interested really in two things. How do you make a life as an artist? And also, importantly, how do you make a living? We're really interested in answering that second question as well. And the Raising Writers program with Audrey Irontree is really dedicated to connecting writers in our area with both of those answers.
I'm Audrey Irontree, and I'm the Education Director for the National Writers Series. Our Raising Writers program provides reading and writing classes for all ages across northern Michigan, and all of our youth classes are entirely free for any child to participate. There are all sorts of exciting new developments for our education programming, including an expanded college essay writing program, new screenwriting classes for young people, as well as our new adult programming. Our elementary poetry workshops run in 4 different elementary schools in Grand Traverse County, as well as one in Manistee County. I've had the absolute joy of being able to teach some of those classes. Our school year ends with the launch of our literary journal, which was over 300 pages of published student work this year. Students publish their work after revision and then get to celebrate with a community reading where everyone shows up to celebrate their publication. Battle of the Books is our largest program. It involves about 300 4th and 5th graders every year. They read 8 books together and then compete on their book knowledge, but they also win points in categories like teamwork and sportsmanship, which makes the program exciting and fun for all kids. And it's the best day ever. They all show up in costume and do zany games and get prizes. They also get to meet one of the authors they read, which is the highlight of the day. Raising Writers changes lives by inspiring a love of reading and writing for area kids. We get feedback from parents for Battle of the Books where they say, you know, my kid's only interested in reading graphic novels. I've never seen him read full books before, and now he can't put them down. I think now more than ever, creative writing programs are so useful in our changing world. It's something uniquely human. It develops empathy. It develops kids' capacity to connect with each other in healthy ways. And it's an activity that kids can do for the rest of their lives. To be a writer, all you really need is a pen and paper, and you have a healthy outlet for your feelings. You get to describe your inner world, and reading is a lifelong hobby. So there's a recent study in the Scientific American that shows kids who develop a love of reading, who choose to read for pleasure at an early age, have physically larger areas of their brains develop. Public schools are increasingly not offering opportunities for kids to write creatively or even write at all. There was a recent article in the Record Eagle called Not So Great Expectations, which outlined the dire state of reading in public schools, where children are usually assigned excerpts rather than full books. So our programming really focuses on filling that gap and getting creative writing into area schools, as well as making sure kids start reading full books from an early age. So it's one of the ways we can actually ameliorate what we know are the negative effects of poverty on the brain. If kids develop a love of reading early, they can develop, no matter what their parents' income is, no matter where they come from, in the same way, because they developed this love for reading. Any kid can benefit from a Raising Writers program.
Not only does the National Writer Series have an effect on the life of the mind here in our community, it also really does affect the merchants, the restaurants, the booksellers, and the other folks in town who benefit from the influx and the rush of people who come to a National Writer Series event. And none of this would be possible here without the donors. So aside from the audiences, and the donors are often in our audience, make this all possible. Every dollar that the donor puts into the National Writer Series comes back tenfold. We're building storytellers of the future. We want one of our students in the Raising Writers program to come back on this stage and read from their newly published novel or nonfiction book. And at that point, I think our job won't be done, but the journey certainly will be well underway.